Good morning everyone. Let's get things going here. Okay, welcome to week number 8. Yep, week number 8, isn't it? Yes, it is. Someone is asking about bonus 8. There was no bonus 8, okay? So I have not asked you to do anything for bonus 8. Actually, and there was bonus 8. Bonus 8 was the bonus question in the test. Okay, so if you have done the bonus question in the test, and you got it, you got your bonus 8. If you didn't, you didn't get your bonus 8. So that was your bonus 8. There will be a bonus 9 for next week, but for this week it was about the test, and the test had a bonus question. So you if you got that one, you got it. If you did, that's fine. We can just move on. Mazir, good morning. I hope that everyone is doing fine, doing good after the weekend, after having finished all your midterms. I hope that everybody went well with every single test that you have done. Our test, I'll be releasing that most likely by tomorrow, so I only have a few tests missing grading, so I release all of them at once. So by tomorrow you should have your grades. Most of you have done just fine. I think that the exercise that we did before really helped. So again, you should all be okay. Okay? What else? What else here before we get going? Any questions? Anything before we get our week number 8 started? Anything there? I have Padlet open, which by the way has a question here. I will check if it's from one of you. Joanna, our final exams is not coding, so which chapters will be covered? Are the chapters after midterms or the whole semester? So Joanna, there is not a way that we can not cover a little bit of everything, because things will build on top of each other. So the final one I'll be including a little bit of everything, not anything very obscure, not anything very hidden, it will be, everything will be about things that we have hammered and we have gone through many times over the course of many exercises, and many more to come as well. We still have assignment 3 to get done, and we have a project to get done. So assignment 3 most likely I'll be releasing on your next class. Assignment 2 is due by the end of this week, if I'm not mistaken. Let me have a look. Yeah, I'm quite sure that it's the end of this week. So the final test will cover a bit of everything. It's not a hands-on test, it's a multiple choice. There is 1 or 2 questions that you're gonna write a little bit of code, but not that much, and you won't even need Visual Studio for that. So it will involve a little bit of everything. We cannot, it's a combination of the entire course, and this course is really building each part on top of the other, on top of the previous one, on top of everything, so that's about it. Okay, so let's see here. We don't have a big group right now, but people will still be joining us as we go along. Today we're gonna be carrying on with our MVC application. We're gonna dive deeper into one particular aspect of our MVC. We're gonna have a little bit of theory at the beginning. I'll be doing a little bit of talking at the beginning, but not that much. And then you're gonna jump to a hands-on practice, a hands-on exercise. So you're gonna be doing some practice. I'll be demonstrating some other aspects of it. You know the flow. That's how I like doing things. You do a little bit, I do a little bit, and as we go together, we grow together. Okay? As usual, Padlet is open. I see a question here, which I'm not sure if it's from one of you from this group or from another group, but the difference between partial view and layout view. Layout is about the structure of the page. It's about the common structural elements, like you have the head, you have the body, you have the navigation, you have the button of the sides. Partial view is a little component that might be inside of one of your views, a little component that you want to put outside, so you can, one, maybe just break down a large view into smaller parts, or maybe a small little part that you want to use on multiple views. It can be something like a login, or something like what we did, how to display a product. So it's a chunk that you can reuse on different views. Layout is talking about the structure of the page, of the site, you know, not of the site, the structure of the page. Partial view is a little component inside the page, inside the view. I don't know, again, if it was from one of you. If it was, that's the explanation. If you want to have a follow-up, let me know and I can follow up on that one. Okay? One of the topics that we're going to be talking about today or in the next class will be around remember the bonus question of the test, that it was dealing with how to load one car. If you wanted to see the details of one particular car, you can click in the car in the list and you can see the details. Today or next class, we're going to be talking, I'll be showing an example of that, because some of you had some problems there, even though we have discussed a little bit of that in the past. But again, it was a topic that we have not extensively covered. That's the reason why it was part of a bonus. Some of you did, some of you did not do it. That's fine. Sona, good morning. Good to see you. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about CRUDs. CRUD. I don't know how you're going to pronounce that. In Portuguese, I would pronounce that CRUD, but in English, maybe CRUD. So let's talk about this. Okay, so in our week 8, this is our week 8, we're going to be talking about CRUD, how to create a CRUD. What is a CRUD? Can anyone tell me if you have heard about CRUDs before? What is a CRUD? It's an acronym, okay? That means what? Google is your friend there. Create, read, update, and delete. Yes. So that's correct, Basanta, Yonga. So those are the basic operations that you should be able to do, you should be able to perform with any model, any class. Let's say you have a car application. Well, you should be able to create a car, to read information about that car, to make changes to that car, or to delete that car. Okay? So those are the very basic operations that usually we are able to perform in any system. Okay, in records here. Now, maybe different people will have different access to different things. For instance, maybe a student will not be able to update the course information, but an administrator will be able to update the course information. An administrator will be able to, a Centennial administrator will be able to create a new course, delete a course, update the course. A student might only be able to read the course information. Okay, so we need all those operations, but different people will have different access to do different things within the system in a CRUD application. Okay, so the objective of today and our next meeting on Friday is to go over through how we can put CRUDs together. Okay, we also going to be doing some client-side validation. We're going to see which libraries we have to add to our application to be able to apply client-side validation. Okay, as we are creating a new entry, which fields are mandatory, which fields are optional. Okay, so we're going to be dealing with that when we are building our CRUDs. Okay, the content is available on chapter 11 of the book, so we're going to be going through different aspects of chapter 11. Source code is already created for that, videos as well. So we're gonna do a mix of have a look at some videos, follow along, and then I'll demonstrate some of that myself as well, as usual. Okay, we are back again to our MVC diagram. Okay, so in our MVC diagram, to handle a CRUD, you're gonna be talking about all the different elements of your web application. It's going to be touching every single element of those. You're going to need routing to be able to post the information to be created, to delete information, to update information, to list information. We're going to be using the controller to do the middle ground between model and view. Someone in the test did something smart, but I don't know if it was from this group, from your section or not, but I'm just gonna mention. Someone did the bonus on the test by retrieving the car information inside the model directly. So what the person did, the person sent the ID of the car from the controller to the view. The ID of the car in the view, the person loaded the correct car in the list, but inside the view. The person did that inside the view. Again, view is just about displaying. It's not about data retrieval. If you load the data, controller sends the data to the view from the model. But if the view tries to load the data directly, it's trying to talk to the model directly. It's bypassing the controller. So that would break the, let's say, the pattern, the MVC pattern that we are establishing. Model and view, they don't talk directly to each other. They talk via the controller. Okay? So just wanted to make the note here. Okay, so I have already shared this presentation on Centennial under week 8. So if we have a look there, under content, week 8, the presentation is already here, okay, and the link is working. So if you click this link, you're gonna go to the playlist of chapter 11. I'm gonna mention this again because I never know who got the message of what. But as you can see, I don't follow necessarily every single video in the playlists, okay? The playlists are there for you. If you want to go through one by one, you can. You are more than welcome. If you get stuck on anything, let me know. But I will not be going through each and every single video. I'll be skipping some videos because those are topics that are not very essential. They are still part of the playlist. You can have a look, you can check, you can ask me questions, you can send me emails. Hey, Anderson, I did get this and I will get back to you. But again, I'm not gonna go through each and every single little details of the videos, okay? So that's why you see those jumps that I provide you with source codes, and then we keep moving forward, okay? So that's why. Some of that you can do it by yourself, and you can tell me if you have questions. But I will always only be asking you to do things that I have covered with you, either via demonstrations or via some lecturing, but I have covered them with you. If there's something there in the videos that I have not covered, that's fine. You can check it out by yourself, but I will not be asking you to do those things if I have not explained them via one of our interactions here, okay? Okay, so again, playlist is there. You can check it out. Actually, you will need to check it out, but in a little bit, not right now. So, CRUD. Create, as you said, create, read, update, and delete. The basic operations that you can do within any system. Any system, you're going to be able to do those things, Different people, as I said, will have access to to perform different operations. Some people will have access to do everything. Some people just partially. And we're going to be talking about security a little bit down the road during the course, okay? I'm just going to show you a few examples here. So this is a list view. A list view of what? Of countries. Yes, of countries. So here you can see that we can perform different operations. If I ask you, based on this slide, where would I go to perform a create? Where would I go here? Which option would I pick here? Would I click to go through a create action? Anyone in the chat? I'm looking at the chat to see if there is any reactions from the people that are awake. I know that not many of you are awake right now, but yeah, for the ones that are awake, can you just tell me where should I go to create a new country here? Add new record. Yes, add new record. Now, let me ask you this, everyone. When I click add new record here, would this be a get action or a post action? It would be a get, Yoga. That's correct. Because when I click here in the add new record, it would show an empty form. An empty form for me to add a new country. But then in that form, when I click the save button or the submit button, what will that be? Will that be a get or a post? When I open the form, I click submit button, that will be a get or a post action. It will be a post. Okay, Gofeng, yep, post, Yonga. That's fine. Let's have a look around here. When I need to, let's say, to see more details about the country, I would click in the details. By clicking the detail link, that would be what? Again, a get or a post. If I click details, it would be a get, because I'm getting information. I'm going to display the information, the details about that country. However, what if I click the edit button? What would be added? What would be the edit one here? Get or post? Another get, because I'm still reading the information. Now, after I read the information and make changes, I click submit button, I click save, that becomes a post. And last one here, we have a delete. Delete. I click there, it's going to delete the country. Is this a get or a post? Which one would you think that we would use for delete? That would be a post. Because anytime you need to perform a modification to data, whether it's creating a new record, whether it's modifying an existing record, whether it's deleting a record, we're going to be using post. Post, we make changes. Get, we don't. It's that simple. Again, post make changes. Gets, they don't make change. Okay? Get is about reading information. Post is about changing information. It might be updating, creating, or deleting, but it's all about posting. It's making changes to the data. Keep that. Make a note of that. Get, read only. Post, to update, to create, and to delete. Okay? So again, this is a very simple view. It's a list view of the different countries. We're going to be working with list views today as well. Here is just another example, another simple example here. This time around, we have a list of people with email addresses. We can edit the entry by clicking the edit button here. We can delete by clicking the X. We can add a new entry, a new user, by clicking new user here. We can navigate, we can search, so we can select how many records in the page it's going to be displaying. Just another example of a CRUD. In a CRUD, usually you have a list view together with a detail view. Detail view that would allow you to see the details of that entry, would allow you to make changes to that entry, would allow you to create a new entry. Okay? So that's all about the CRUD. CRUD is about performing the basic operations in the table, in a student table, in your model. Okay? Yet another one here, the last one I think. We have a list of, let's see, what is that? Okay, movies. So we have a way to filter at the top, a way to create a new movie, a way to delete, to edit, and to see the details. Sometimes we have an edit and we have a details. Edit and details, they should be different, because edit, it means that you are making modifications to the details of that entry. When you click details, you are only looking at the information. So it makes sense at times to have them as two different actions. Okay? One, it's a read-only view for the details, and the other one, it's a way that you can make modifications to that entry. Okay, so let's bring this here back to us, close to us, and let's have a look at our sports store. I'm gonna run the application right now, which will be built by the end of chapter 11. So you can have an idea of what is it that we are working towards. We're gonna be working on the back end of our application, on the administration part of our application. We have the front end, which shows the products, the checkout, and we have the back end, which is the admin part of the application, where we can add more products, delete products, edit products. Okay? I'm gonna run that for you. Any questions so far? Think about that as I load the code here. Okay, so as I said, this is the source code at the very end of chapter 11. I want to show you the whole thing built so that you can see what is it that we are working towards. By the way, if you send me an email overnight, I did not have a chance to look at that yet. I see a few emails pending from me. I'll be doing that afterwards, okay, today. Okay, so I'm gonna run my sports store. As I said, we're gonna be talking about sports store for quite a while. So let's run that. It's taking a little bit longer because database is being created as well. Now, at this point in time, we have a way to navigate, a way to filter by categories, different categories here, see? Filtering by soccer, by water sports. Now, because we have this, we must have a way as well to admin this, to have some sort of backends that I can add and remove products from. So if I go to admin/index, there's no link for that. I have to type in, okay, for now. This is what you're gonna be working towards, to have a list of products. They have IDs. Those IDs, they are automatically created for us from the database, okay? We don't have to worry about them. And from here, I can make changes. I can add a new product, I can delete a product, I can update a product. Let's give it a try here. So if I go to edit kayak, I don't know, boat. And if I save this, let's make it a little bit more expensive. If I save, you see the name has changed here, the price has changed. If I go to the front end and if I refresh, now I have the new name with the new price as well. Okay, so this is the back end of how you can make changes to it. I can delete, actually let's try to add one here. So let's say add products. Let's try to add a ping pong table. And the category, I'm gonna call it just ping pong. And the price will be, let's say, $450. And now if I save this, it's added with number 10 automatically. If I go back here on the third page, now I have the ping pong table, okay? And now look, we also have a category called ping pong because it's been built automatically from the data that I have entered. So this backend is influencing the store, the front end of the store, okay? Now I can delete the last one. Let's say that let's just delete ping pong table. Let's click delete here. It has removed, ping pong table was deleted. If I go back there, the category will disappear from here. See, it's no longer here in the list, the category, and the last page, it's no longer there. So this is a CRUD. We can from here create, update, read, and delete, okay? And as part of that, we are also listing. We are listing the products here, okay? Let me ask you a question. If I try to create another product right now, what will be the idea of that product, of the new product that I create now? If I try. Yes, it's gonna be 11 because we had a number 10 before. Number 10 is gone now. And if I add a new one, and if I just say test If I say save, now we have number 11. Now, in case, I mentioned this before, but I want to highlight that again. In case this number here from you, if you delete and you add, if it goes crazy like in the thousands, that's fine. Leave it. It's a bug within the database engine that comes with Visual Studio. It's a little database, so again, if you see this number going crazy, you haven't done anything wrong. It's really just an internal bug. Okay? Great. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put this together. We're gonna build each and every single element of this CRUD. And we're gonna start to do that by working with the controller. So let's see here. Okay, so your turn to start doing something. As you know, I like you to be active. So we had a look at this. This is how it's gonna look like. Now, your first task is this. You're gonna download Sports Store Chapter 11 Part 2.2 and follow video 03. Okay? This video 03 will only help you to create the, if I'm not mistaken, the controller. Yes. So you're gonna create, so this is the starting point that you're gonna have. I'm gonna provide that to you. So if you have a look at files, Unicentennial files, chapter 11, you're gonna download this zip file. You're gonna open that and you're gonna follow along on step number 3, video step number 3 here. This video will just show you how to create the controller. You know how to create the controller, you have done the test. This is not a big deal for you anymore, okay? So I'm gonna give you a few minutes for you to do that. I'm gonna copy the link as well. So I'm gonna, in the chat, so I'm gonna say part, so chapter 11, part 3. Here is the video link to that. So again, go to part 3 of that playlist. Right here. Follow along. It's a 4 minutes video. Very, very simple one. 4 minutes. You're going to be putting together the initial elements of your CRUD. Okay? Follow along. And again, start by downloading the source code, then follow the video. Any question about that? I'm gonna give you, let's have a look here. I'm gonna give you to do that about 10 to 15 minutes. As you go through it, let me know in the chat if you are done, or on Padlet as well if you are done, because then we can move forward. But let's start with that. And let's get going. As you get this one done, I'll be also taking attendance. So again, everyone, wake up. Wake up. The ones that are sleeping there, wake up. Again, get started with the playlist. And yep, give it a try. Give it a good try. Any questions? I'm here to assist, either in the chat, on Padlet, but get your controller started. It's just the admin controller. Not a big deal. And again, let me know as you get it done so we can keep moving forward. As I call your name, as I take attendance, let me know that you are awake. You can put the playlist, you can listen to music there on your own. Okay, so here you go again. As you hear a name, just tell me I'm here. Aslan, Anusha Basanta, Aslan, Anusha Basanta, okay. Benu Barath, Galfang. Benu and Barath. Gopika, Gukirat, and Jayanth. Gopika, Gukirat, and Jayanth. Oh, okay. Pavani, I didn't get there yet, so again, only when you hear your name, okay? Joanna, you're there. Juhi, Karandeep. Juhi and Karandeep. Yeah, Karan. Okay. Juhi. Mempreet, Mazir, and Mehmet. Mazir there. Mempreet and Mehmet. Mukahit, Nita, and Pavan. Yes, you're there. Pavani, Nita, you're there. Mukahit, I don't see you. Peitong, Prince, and Ravi. Peitong, Prince, and Ravi. Peitong's there. Sali, Samarf, and Sona. Sali is there. Baraf, I put yours. Sona is there. And Sali is there as well. Samarf, I don't see you. Ravula, Sayed, and Tang. Sayed and Tang. Yonga, Zenab, and Deng. Tang is there, okay? Tang is there. Yong is there. Zenab and Deng. Zenab, where are you? And Deng, okay? Perfect. Again, as you get done the exercise, let me know in the chat or on Padlet, okay? I'm gonna shut down my mouth and let you do it. Ravula, I put your tennis. Yes, I did. I did put. Pavani, I put yours. Don't worry. I saw you there. Okay? Yes, I called your name, but I saw you there before. So you're fine. Yes, Nab. Yeah, I got yours. Okay, Gaofeng, why I don't have red underline of controller and iProduct repository? I don't know, Gaofeng, but if you want to share your screen, I can have a look. Okay, I can give you access. Let me stop sharing. If you want to share your screen, I'll give you access. That's the kind of thing that I need to have a look before I can tell you what's going on. Oh, I see. Yeah. Again, no problem. If you want to share, I'll leave it up to you. If you want to share your source code, what I don't understand is that why I don't have. You have or you don't have a red underline. The way you put it, you're saying that you don't have and you are expecting to have it. Maybe yes. I was about to say that you have to make sure that you have the namespace at the top. Okay, namespace sport store dot modules. Again, give me an idea if you have done. You can do it privately. You can send me a message privately if you have done the control already. Okay. Yeah, if you are done already, if you want to keep moving forward, that's fine. Just keep going. Yes, you can start. Okay. Yep, keep going. If you are just waiting for me to come and, yeah, keep going, keep pushing forward. We're gonna be dealing with that with number 4, part 4 and 5. I'll be demonstrating that. But again, by all means, keep going, keep moving forward if you are done already. Okay. Awesome. That's good. Good. Great. Okay, let's do this. As the time is up, let's have our 5 minutes, just so I can refill some water here. You can refill as well. Once you get back from 5 minutes break, I'll be demonstrating part 4 and part 5, okay? Again, 5 minutes break, then I'll demonstrate part 4, part 5, then you do part 6, okay? Let's do like that, 5 minutes. Okay, everyone. Can you confirm that you can see me, you can hear me? So good. Awesome. Okay, so I hope that you had a chance to put together the controller, the admin controller. As you can see in this application, let's have a look at this. See, this application is becoming bigger and bigger. You see how a complex application can look like. If you have a look at controllers, we have a lot of controllers here. We are used to have a home controller, a product controller, and that's it. But here, look, we have 4 controllers. The way that controllers work, I think that someone before asked me about that. You can think about controllers as someone asked, how many controllers should I have? Well, theoretically, you can have all your actions in one single controller, but then as your application starts to grow, you start to think, okay, maybe I should divide the views, the actions in different controllers that are more related to each other. For instance, if we are talking about the administration part of our system, in our case, we have to manage products. So we can have an admin controller just to deal with administrative actions, tasks of our application. In our case, what I'm hoping that you have done, you have created your admin controller, inheriting from controller, and you have made a reference to your product repository. This is the place that you're going to be getting the products from, using the repository to load initially the list of products here. We have the, what is that? What is this that I have selected? This is the what of the class. This is the constructor, okay? So this is the constructor of the controller class. Remember, because of dependency injection, we are getting a concrete repository here that gets set to our local repository. Where is the dependency injection done? Well, it's done in the startup. If we go there, we should be able to see the dependency injection right here. Every time I need an iProduct repository, provide an entity framework product repository. That's why I get an entity framework product repository right here. And then we have one action so far. We have the index action, which is the action that lists the products. We are calling a view, and we are saying, hey view, get the list of products and do whatever you need to get it done. Okay? Now, we need to move forward. If I ask you, what will be the next natural step here? What would I be doing next here? Now that we have the action, what will be the next natural step? The view. The view that represents this action. In our case, we are not giving it a name, so it has to match the same name of the action. So we're going to go to views. Now, because we have just added admin controller, what is it that we need to do under views right now? What is the next thing? Yes, Young, we have to add the admin folder to match the name of the controller. So I'm going to right click views. I'm going to go to add, new folder, and then admin. Now, inside admin, I'm going to create the index view. So I'm going to go right click, add, new item. I'm going to select eraser view. I'm going to keep the name because it's called index anyway. I'm going to add. Okay, so now we start to populate this. Okay, but first, let's have a look what we have in the controller. Controller is calling repository.products. Products is what? Let's have a look at the repository, just to make sure that we know where things are. So repository, let's see, Entity Framework repository. Product is an iQueryable. Remember, because we are dealing with database, now the list of products is coming from the database, iQueryable is the most reliable or the type that has the best performance when dealing with database, the collection type, okay? So we are using an iQueryable here, and we are taking the list of products from the context class. So we have the products here, using iQueryable. Now, for our view, iQueryable is compatible with IEnumerable. Okay, so what I can do is, in our view, I should expect what? Is that one single product or a collection of products? What is the model that this index view for the admin will be expecting? Is that one product or a collection of products? Okay, our model here. So we're going to be expecting a collection of products, okay? So here what I can say is that I'm expecting an IEnumerable of what? Of product, okay? So I'm expecting IEnumerable of a collection of products, okay? If I were to put this as in a list, I would have to convert here in the controller. I would have to do some conversions here, okay? But I'm gonna expect an IEnumerable because then there is an automatic compatibility applied here. So I'm gonna expect an IEnumerable, a list of products, a collection of products. And now what I have to do is I have to present this nicely. Okay, I'm not gonna add the CSS related to Bootstrap yet. I'm gonna make this very simple. I'm just gonna make it a very simple table with product ID, name, and price. Just that. Let's have a look. So we're gonna do table. By the way, before I do this, I need to put the block here. I need to set the title and the layout. Let me have a look at the layout, see if we have already an admin layout. Yeah, there is an admin layout already. Okay, so we're gonna use it right here. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna put a code block here, view bag dot title equals to, let's call this all products. Okay, and then we're gonna say layout, because we already have an, now here's where you might be using multiple layouts. You may have a layout for the front end, the layout that a regular user will see, and then maybe you have a slightly different layout for the administration part of the website. that's the case here. We have a slightly different layout. So this one here, this is an admin layout. I'm going to be using this admin layout right here. Okay, it's a very simple one. So I'm just going to say admin layout. Okay, and then we have our table here. We're going to have we have our heads, tr, td here, and if this is the header of the table, in HTML, you can use a special tag called th, which means table heads, okay? So I'm going to use 3 of them. I'm going to say this is the ID, this is the name, and this is the price. Okay? Okay, so we have the title, product ID, name, and price. What should I do next? What should I do here to output the products? Which control should I be using here? Which structure should I be using here? Yes, Younger. So we should be using a for each loop. Okay, so I'm gonna have a for each loop. For each what? For each product. It could be products. It could be var. Product or var would be the same. For each product item in my model is a collection of products. So I'm gonna say item in model, and then I'm gonna loop through this. Again, very simple to what you have done in the test. Okay, very, very similar to what you have done in the test. And then here we have tr, td, and we have 3 tds here. Okay, we're gonna say this will be at model dot product. Is that at model here? Not really, is it? What should this be? As I'm inside the loop, it should be a model or an item. An item, okay? So I should say at item dot product ID. I'm gonna make it very simple here, and Visual Studio keeps indenting this the way that I don't want to. That's okay. Then we have name, and then we have price. Okay, so look, a very simple one. Let's give this a try. Let's see if this is working. So far, any questions? Any questions from anyone of what we have done so far? I'm looking at the chat. I'm looking at Padlet as well. Any questions? Something that sometimes raises some questions is, again, why IEnumerable? Use IEnumerable because it's compatible. It's iQueryable inherits from IEnumerable, so they are compatible with each other easily, and you don't have to do conversions, okay? But that's it. Let's give this a try. So I'm gonna run this guy. And where is it? Okay, it's still running. Okay. Then how do I access that view? How can I access that action there? What should I type in the URL? Again, think about the controller, think about the action. What is the controller that we are testing? Yes, admin is the controller, index is the action. If I click there, if I load that, you see that this is what we have. A very simple list of products here. Okay, we are not interested yet in formatting this beautifully. Let's do that as a last step, okay? So we don't get too confused, too overwhelmed here. We are just listing the IDs, the names, and the price. There's more to be done here, but this is just the beginning. Now let's do this. Let's enhance this. We need to perform on each one of those items. What are the two actions that we need to perform on them? What are they? What are the two actions? Yes, thing. We need to add it, to make change to it, and we need to delete and add it. Okay. So let's build the edit first. Let's build the edit one, and then we jump to the delete one. Okay. So I'm going to add an extra column in our table. I can give it a name, or if I don't want to give a name, that's fine. But I can put this. I can call this as actions. Edit and delete. Okay. Now we're gonna be talking about something here related to what you have also seen in the test as well. Okay. And here we're gonna add an extra column, and we're gonna create a link that says edit. Okay. So this edit, it has to be added around a link tag. So let's build our link tag. But now let's construct the different elements of our link tag. The first one that we have to think about is, what is the name of the action that I'll be calling when we click edit? You can decide that, okay? Just for the sake of simplicity here, I'm gonna call the action, which does not exist yet, I'm gonna call it edit, okay? So that when the user clicks edit, it goes to the edit view. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna use a tag helper. I'm gonna say ASP-action equals to edit, okay? To be able to edit the product. And then I would like to ask you, what else do I need to give to edit so that I know which product is getting edited? What else do I need to give to it? A value? Well, it is a value. Now, specifically, which value is that one that we need to give to edit? If we look at our model, we need to give the product ID. Okay? We need to provide the product ID to edit so it knows which product it should be editing. The way that we can do this, there's a very simple way. We can use ASP-route. ASP-route is a very simple way that you can add parameters in your URL. Okay? ASP-route, this is fixed. And then you can say dash, whatever name you want to put it there. It can be ID, it can be product ID, it can be, I don't know, identifier. But whatever name you give it here becomes part of your URL as a parameter. And as a consequence, it becomes the incoming parameter of the edit action. So I'm going to give you an example. I'm going to say that this is ID. And ID is equals to what? To the, where can I find in the item the product ID? So ASP-route-ID is equals to this guy here. Okay? It's equal to that. So as we build each item in the list, in the HTML list, in the HTML table, we also build this link here to the edit action with the parameter called ID being equal to the current product ID. Let's run this and then you can visualize how this looks like. Let's run it. Okay, so let's go to admin index. Look, now we have edits. Look at the button. Look at the button here, and you're gonna, as I move the mouse over, you're gonna see, let me see if I can increase that. It doesn't increase the part. So look at the button, edit /1, /2, /3, /4, and it goes like that, you see? For each one, it has the ID there. So that's how the edit action knows which product will be getting edited. Okay? Let me make a minor modification here. I'm just gonna change, instead of calling it ASP route ID, I'm gonna call this product ID. Let's see if I can just refresh there or if I need to recompile this. Let me see here. Look at the URL now. Because I put product ID and product ID is not the default name of the ID, it shows as $product ID equals to 3. That's okay. That's fine. That's fine. So you can call it ID or product ID, it doesn't matter. However, it has to match the name of the parameter when we get to create the edit action, the edit methods, okay? Whatever you call it here, ID or product ID, it has to match the same name that you are giving to the parameter that is coming to the edit action. I'm gonna give it a second, let it sink in to everyone. Questions please. I don't believe that you have all understood this. I don't doubt, but well, I doubt a little bit because this is not that straightforward. So again, any questions? Come on. Any questions, people? What happened with the last change? The last change, you mean from ID to product ID, Sally? Is that what you mean? Okay, so before it was called ID, correct? Then I've changed it to product ID. It was ID before, just to give you the example, and I'm gonna show you the startup class here. See, in the startup class, look at this template. Remember this template? We have worked quite a lot with this template. The last template says controller, action, and ID. So for this template here, the last parameter is called ID. If my URL has a parameter called ID, let me go back here. So if this was called ID, then the URL gets formatted automatically with that pattern. You see? /controller, /action, /ID. Because the name ID is a match. This name ID matches the pattern in the template, in the URL template. However, if you add a parameter that is not a match, that's okay. But then it no longer becomes friendly. Like this, you see? 11 means ID because it's it matches the pattern there. So MVC knows that 11 is equals to the ID. However, if I rename ID and call it something else, if I don't call it ID, it's still gonna show in the URL, but not as friendly as this one. It will show as whatever, like product ID equals to 11. It shows explicitly in the URL. I'm gonna change it again. I'm gonna change it back to product ID. I'm just trying to show that whatever name you give it here in the ASP-route, it's gonna get automatically translated and becomes part of the URL. If I call this Ederson ID, I save this, I go back there and I refresh. Look there at the URL, at the button here, look at the status bar here. See, it shows Ederson ID equals to whatever number is there. Okay? You cannot see the button, Sally? Is that what you're saying? Okay, nobody can see the button here. The status bar here that changes, nobody can see that. Can you give me some feedback, everyone? Sally, is that because it's very small? I mean, I can just click and it. Okay, so I'm gonna do this. So I'm just showing in the. I just click them. Okay. Again, as I move the mouse at the lower left corner here, in the corner here, let me see if I can draw something here. So as I move the mouse, look. Okay, Sally, okay, great. So as I move the mouse, you see that now I have another parameter called Ederson ID. So my point is this: whatever I put here, whatever I call it here, it becomes the URL parameter with the same name. If this is called ID, because there is a pattern in the URL that shows ID is expected here, it becomes friendly. It no longer shows ID in the URL explicitly because it's part of the URL pattern. Okay? Again, I don't see if this makes sense. Bottom line is that for now, I'm gonna keep this as ID. As I click there, so I refresh and click there, you're gonna see it just as /admin/edit/ the number. Okay? Then again, this is how you know which product needs to be edited. Again, any other questions for now? Okay, except for today's knowledge. Okay, Mazir, in one of the videos that we have worked through URLs, that we have worked through routing, there was a point that I very many times I said, this is very important. This is how you're gonna send the ID from the URL to the controller. I can point you to that, Mazir. Okay, and again, you may not recall that, but I said that so many times. I said, make sure you write a note about this, make sure you write a note about this. I said 3 or 4 times. Again, when I say that you should write a note about something, write it, because you're gonna need it. So I can even point that back, Mazir, to the point that I said that many times in the records. That's a good thing about having a recording, is that I can show you that. Okay, so yes, there was. Okay, again, it was the video of the guy showing the ID. I mean, I was showing the video, and again I paused and I reinforced so many times there. Again, I can send you the link afterwards, Mazir. Okay, any more questions? Okay, so let's move on to the delete. I'm gonna stop here and we're gonna talk about deleting. Okay, that's the other action that we have. Now look at this. Delete is, differently from edit. Edit is, again, a get or a post. It's a post. Edit is a get. Okay, so when we click on edit, we're gonna get the form. Okay, it's not posting yet. Yeah, that's correct. Now, if we click delete, we're gonna be performing a post there. We're gonna be deleting that that entry. Okay, so for me to write a delete and make it a post, I have to have my delete action inside of what? Where should be the delete button? Be inside of what to make it a post? We are still here in the view. I'm talking about the HTML part, okay? So Sally, you're getting there, Sally. Inside a div. It's not inside the div. Yes, Basanta, it is inside a form. So we have to wrap the button around a form, okay? A form tag. So we need to do something like this. I'm going to start slowly here because, again, we can make this fancier as we go along. So I can say form, then the action is ASP-action. The action is delete, so I'm gonna call it delete. Okay, let's make it simple. We don't have the action yet created, but we're gonna create that a little bit later. Let's call it delete action, and the method that we're gonna be using is a post. We don't use the delete method nor the put method that much. We're gonna be using the post method here. Okay. With this, I'm gonna close. Here's the form. Then what? How should I, inside a form, how do I submit the information? Via a button. Yes, Yonga, via button. So I'm gonna say I need a button here. Type of this button is submit. And that's it. I'm gonna call this delete. So let's have the edit first and then the delete next here. Okay, great. So what else do I need to do here? What else do I have to do here? The ID. So how this ID will come about? How are we giving this ID back to the form? By using what? Actually, I'm gonna make a small change here. I'm gonna keep this. I just want to be consistent with the example in the book. So the example in the book, it does not use ID. It calls it product ID. So I just want to make it consistent with how things are done in the book, just so you don't get confused with that. So again, the edit is called product ID, not ID, but that's a minor one. So again, how do I get the product ID here in this form so that we can send this, yes, Mazir, as a hidden control, as a hidden HTML control? Inputs can have different forms. You can have a text input, we can have a checkbox input, and we can have a hidden field which is an input as well. We can say something like this. Inside our form, we're going to say input type. This type here will be a hidden input, okay, hidden. And then we're going to give it a name and a value. A name and a value. So the value, let's start with the value. So the value will be what? What is the value here? What should I write there? Exactly. So we're going to say at item dot product ID. But also, we need to give this a name, because this name, whatever name we give to it here, has to match the incoming parameter of the delete action. So I'm going to call it, just to keep it consistent with this one here, just to keep it consistent, I'm going to call it name equals to product ID. Also, name the casing, whether it's lowercase or uppercase, it doesn't matter. I can say like this. The name here, it has to match the name in the parameter, but it doesn't matter the casing, okay? So I can keep it like lowercase just to keep it consistent with this. But again, casing here doesn't have to match the exact same casing as the parameter, okay? So we have a hidden button. And in a way, that's about it for the deletes. Let's see how this looks like. Okay, let's have a look. Okay, so I have the delete button, the edit button. Of course, if I click on them, there's nothing is happening because we don't have those actions yet. Okay, that's fine. How about we give it a little bit of a facelift? Let's make this look prettier. Okay, and because we are just gonna add some CSS styling, I don't need to stop the compilation here, so I'm just gonna replace a few entries here. I'm going to reformat the HTML. I'm gonna start with the table, the table at the very top. I'm gonna add a few classes here. Okay, so the class property, I'm adding a few bootstrap classes here. Okay, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna have a look and refresh. Okay. So things are starting to look a little bit better. Okay. What else we can do here? Let's do a little bit of adjustments to the alignment of the headers. So I'm just going to replace the headers here. I'm just going to add a little bit of alignment here. To the right for the ID, to the right for the price, to the center for the actions. Okay. Okay, attendance-wise, remind me before we are closing the day, okay? Again, about attendance, leave for the last thing of the day. I will have a look at the attendance, and if you have not given your name, you can give me afterwards. Okay, so we have reformatted the header. Let's have a look there. So again, we are just playing around a little bit with the alignment. Let's do the same thing with the product ID. Again, just doing a bit of reformatting here, just to make it look a little bit a little bit better. I'm just changing a few alignments here. Price as well, I'm gonna change it. I'm going to format the price. Right now, the price is not formatted, as you can see. So I'm going to say toString And then I'm gonna just format it as currency. Okay, let's have a look again there. So again, now the alignment is a little bit better, the price is formatted properly. Let's now give some formatting to the edit and delete. Let's make them look a little bit more consistent, a little bit, because one is looking like a link, the other one is looking like a button. And let's make it look a little bit better by using some styling here. So for the edit, let's use this. Again, I'm not gonna explain each entry of those, okay? This is not a CSS class nor design class, but I just want to make it look a little bit better, so I'm using this class for the action, for the edit, and I'm gonna use another class for the delete button. So I'm gonna go here in the delete button, use this. As you can see, I'm using this danger here because this becomes red, and this is just a warning. So you're gonna see now a little bit of color going on with the edit and delete. I'm gonna refresh. So now you see edit and delete with different colors, okay? Now, if I want to put them side by side, like edit and then delete, I need to add the edit tag inside the form. It does need to be inside, but just to keep it aligned in the same line as delete and edit, I'm gonna add it inside the form so that when I see in the UI, they look side by side, edit and delete here, okay? So how is that looking like now? A little bit better. A little bit better, isn't it? Great, great. Okay, so what can we do next? What else? What else are we gonna do next here? Okay. By the way, any questions so far? Anything you want to clarify? Okay, Mazir, confirmation before delete should be with JS in client side only. Okay, so we can do some confirmation there. Mazir, yeah, it should be in the client side. Okay, now I don't think that you're gonna be using that. I'm not quite sure. Let's get to the delete part. I don't know if there is a confirmation. I think that there is no confirmation right now. Okay, but yes, if we would be doing a confirmation for delete, ideally it would be done in the client side before we perform that. Sally, we have to create a form when we need to post for delete. Yeah, that's correct. Now, form, it doesn't need to be a form asking for information. It can be like this one. You don't even, when you look at this page, you don't know that there is a form here, but there is. For each delete, there is a little form tag. If I look at the source code, if I right click and look at view source or inspect actually, look, we have a delete for each one. You see, each delete button has a form posting to admin delete with a hidden field. The value is here. So yes, Ali, you need to create a form to post so that we can perform the delete. Okay? Great. Anything else? Okay, good. Let me see here, Padlet, if there's anything there. No? Okay, so now let's start. What we have just gone through is part 4, video 4, okay? Part 5 is about creating the edit action. So let's create the action that happens when we click the edit button. Look, we know that the action should be called edit, and it should have a parameter called product ID. So we're gonna go to our admin controller, and we're gonna create another action here. I'm gonna say public view result. The name of the action is, come on, the name is, if I'm doing the edit action, the name is edit here, okay? I'm gonna return a view here. Now, what is the parameter of the edit? What is the name of the parameter? We have a parameter that's coming in. It's product. So we have an integer product ID. Product ID. Okay, so this name, very important, this name has to match whatever name is being used right here. In the edit action, right here, this product ID in the ASP route, this one has to match this one here. It does need to be the same casing. It does need to match the casing, okay? It does not have to match the casing, but it has to match the letters. Whether it's uppercase or lowercase, it does not matter. But now, because we have the product ID, we can go to our collection of products. Yes, hey Mike, okay? Okay, is that with everybody? Is that the mic is screwed up with everyone? Is that? Tank? Maybe it's just you, Tank. Anybody else with problems listening to me? It's okay? Okay, great. So Tank, maybe, I don't know, give it a try there. So product ID, I can, okay, great. So product ID, we have to go to the collection of products and we have to filter it. We have to filter the collection of products. We have to say, we're gonna go product repository, dot products, actually let me break it down like this. Dot what? What is it that I'm gonna use to get the correct product? What should I use here? Which method should I use? There are different ways that you can do this, but what do you think would be the methods to be used in products to filter by this product ID? Can anyone, try something there? The where. We could use where. We could say dot where. Where what? Where. Then we have to use a little bit of lambda here. The same thing as we have done. Yeah, Mazir, first or default is another way that we can use, but actually going to be using that for something else. Let's just hold on a second. So let's do where, and then we're going to use a little bit of lambda here. So I'm going to say ps products such that p dot product ID is equals to what? To the product ID here. Okay? So we are filtering the list of products where the product ID is a match with the product ID coming in the edits. Now, here is a little problem that we have where it can return 1, 0, or multiple records. In this case, we only have one product with that ID, but we have to prepare our codes for the possibility that this could run and return more than one item, or even no item at all. So because of that, we need to add one more method called here, which is called first or default. First or default, it's gonna always return just the top one. If there's just one record with the matching, that's fine, it's gonna return that. But if there are two, it's not the case here, but if there are two, it would return the first one. So this guarantees to edit action that only one single product will be returned always and will be sent to the view. It cannot send two, it can only send one. So we need to use first or default. Actually, we could simplify this, we could have simplified, and inside first or default, we could have placed this filtering. We could have just done something like this. First or default, right here. This would also be okay. It's another way that you can do filtering. You can get the first or default matching this condition. Okay? Or the where is also fine. Is also okay. This is another way that you can use, that you can do that as well. Okay? Great. With this done, we have our edit action. What would be the next natural step here? Who can tell me what would be the next step? Yes, Ali. We have a view to create. What is the name of the view? The edit view. Yes, thank. The edit view. So that edit view is gonna, what will be the model of that edit view? What is the type of the model of that edit view that you're gonna be creating? Anyone? What is the type? What is it that this is returning? This is returning, okay, Sally, INumerable. INumerable, Sally, is for collections. We are returning one single product, okay? Basanta is asking, please explain one more time first or default. Okay, so Basanta, you can use where, or you can use first or default. First or default works very similar to where, but the only difference is that where can return more than one record, more than one entry. If I say where student course equals to comp 229, well, a filter like that will return a collection of students. In this case, I want just to filter one single entry, one single student. I don't want the collection with one student. I want one single, in this case, product here. I don't want a collection of products. Even if that collection is just one item, I want one product. So where gives back a collection. First or default gives back one item from a potential collection. Even if it returns 10 items, it's just gonna give back the first one. And because we're using product ID as the filter, I know that it will always filter and just give me one back. It will never give me two products because there won't be two products with the same ID, but the code does know that. The code is prepared to return a collection, even if the collection is just one single item. I don't want that. I don't want a collection. I want the first one. So first or default guarantees that I'm gonna get one product, in this case, one product object, not a collection with one product inside. So the model in the edit, we're gonna be expecting one product, not a collection of products. Basanta, that's what first or default does. You have default, because this filter may give you no products. If I type product 1000 and there's no product 1000, I need this to return null. If I don't use first or default, if I use just first, there's a method called first. If I just use first, it's gonna trigger an exception. If it doesn't return, if the filter is empty, it triggers an exception if I just use first. That's why I use first or default, to be able to handle a filter with no records at all, okay? That's about it. If anyone needs your attendance, just give me a shout out now. That's it. If you want to keep moving forward with the other videos, you can. I'm not asking you to do that, but you can. You can keep going with the other videos. I'm gonna upload part 4 and part 5 of the source code here that you are seeing. I'm gonna upload right now to Centennial. If you want to keep progressing, you can. If not, that's fine. We're gonna keep progressing next class. It's up to you. You can do it on your own and come prepared to class, next class, or you can do it here together with me. Thanks so much. I'll see you all on Friday. Again, if you need your attendance, if you skip that, let me know right now. This is the time. Thank you, Sona, Sally, Joanna. Yonga, so you have a question there. Can you explain what I should delete when the database are conflict? Okay, Yonga, if you get conflicts in database, I'm assuming that what you mean will be fixed by deleting the database and running the application again, running the migration scripts again. You may want delete the database and delete the migrations as well, and then recreate migrations. Are you talking about Sports Store or are you talking about another application? Okay, so Sports Store, the best way is just delete the database and then run the application, run the code. The code will recreate the database and it should be fine there. Okay? Oh, so if you go to View, SQL Server Object Explorer, and then expand MS SQL, local DB, databases, here's the database, Sports Store, okay? If I right click and I click delete, make sure that you close existing connections, because then everything will get closed before delete. Sometimes it does not delete if you don't close. I can click OK. The database is gone. Once it's gone, you can run the application again and it creates the database again for you. Okay? Good. Okay, Mazir, can I use today's method to send parameters to control for assignment? Yes, you can. You can, Mazir. You can use that. That's fine. Okay?